Welcome to Professor Explain 101. Today's journey is not about facts or theories. It's about healing, about understanding the invisible pain we all carry, the kind that doesn't show in scars, but lives quietly inside our hearts. Emotional pain is universal. It hides behind smiles, behind laughter, behind people who say, "I'm fine." But the truth is, many of us are not fine. We're healing from heartbreak, from loss, from betrayal, from rejection, from moments that broke something deep within us. This video is your space, a space to understand emotional pain and to begin or continue your journey toward healing. Let's begin. Part 1. What is emotional pain? Emotional pain is not weakness. It's the mind's way of saying something precious was lost. When someone we love walks away, when our trust is betrayed, when our dreams collapse, our brain reacts much like it does with physical injury. Neuroscientists have discovered that emotional pain and physical pain activate the same regions of the brain, particularly the anterior cingulate cortex. That means when your heart breaks, your brain literally feels hurt. But emotional pain isn't just sadness. It's the echo of everything that once mattered. It's confusion, self-doubt, shame, fear, and loneliness, all blending into an invisible storm. And because we can't show it, society often dismisses it. Move on. Be strong. Get over it. But how do you get over something that changed how you see yourself and how you see the world? You don't get over emotional pain. You grow through it. Part 2. The psychology of emotional pain. Pain has a purpose. Emotionally, it's our psyche's way of signaling that a boundary was broken, that something vital to our sense of safety or identity was lost. Psychologists define emotional pain as the disconnection between our inner self and the external world. It's the gap between what we expected and what reality gave us. When that gap widens, we feel despair. We feel powerless. We feel like we've lost control. But inside that pain is also a message, a whisper from your unconscious saying, something in you deserves attention. Maybe you've ignored your own needs for too long. Maybe you've stayed in places where love was conditional. Maybe you've carried guilt that was never yours to carry. Pain becomes the teacher. And the moment you start listening to it, you begin to heal. Part 3. The origins of emotional wounds. Every wound has a story. Some begin in childhood, moments when we didn't feel seen, protected, or loved unconditionally. A parent's harsh word, a teacher's unfair comparison, a friend's betrayal, a breakup that shattered trust. Each of these moments leaves micro scars on the soul. Over time, these scars shape our beliefs. I'm not enough. I'm hard to love. I'll always be abandoned. These beliefs become emotional armor. We wear them without realizing it, and they silently dictate how we love, trust, and see ourselves. Healing means revisiting those moments, not to relive the pain, but to reclaim the power we lost in them. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means remembering safely. Part 4. How emotional pain manifests. Emotional wounds are invisible, but their effects are everywhere. They show up as anxiety that has no clear reason, as overthinking before every decision, as people-pleasing, perfectionism, withdrawal, or sudden anger. Sometimes they appear as numbness, a cold silence where we used to feel warmth. The problem isn't that we feel too much, it's that we've learned to suppress too much. Healing starts when we become aware, when we start naming what we feel. Because naming emotions is how we reclaim control over them. Part 5. The cycle of emotional suppression. Most of us were never taught how to process pain. We were taught how to hide it. Don't cry. Don't show weakness. Stay strong. But staying strong often means staying silent. And silence becomes a cage. We begin distracting ourselves with work, entertainment, even relationships. Anything to avoid sitting with our pain. But unprocessed emotions don't disappear. They wait. They wait for a quiet moment to resurface. And the longer we run from them, the louder they scream. Healing begins when we stop running and start listening.
Part 6. Understanding trauma. Trauma is not just what happened to you. It's what happens inside you because of what happened. It's the wound left behind when you felt unsafe, unseen, or unloved. When something overwhelmed your ability to cope. Trauma changes the nervous system. It teaches your brain to expect danger even when you're safe. It keeps your body in survival mode. Heart racing, muscles tense, mind alert. You start reacting to memories as if they're happening now. That's why healing trauma is not about forgetting the past. It's about teaching your body that the danger has passed. This is the beginning of emotional recovery, when your body finally exhales. Part 7. The stages of emotional healing. Healing is not linear. It doesn't follow a timeline, but it often passes through stages. Stage 1. Awareness. The moment you admit, "I'm not okay," awareness is courage. It breaks denial. Stage 2. Expression. Letting the pain out through talking, journaling, crying, therapy, or prayer. Emotion must move to heal. Stage 3. Understanding. You begin to connect the dots, realizing why you feel what you feel. This is when insight turns pain into wisdom. Stage 4. Acceptance. You stop fighting what happened. You realize that healing doesn't erase the past, it transforms your relationship with it. Stage 5. Forgiveness. Not for others, but for yourself. For the times you didn't know better. For the times you blamed yourself for things beyond your control. Stage 6. Growth. You rediscover peace. You begin setting healthy boundaries. You attract calm instead of chaos. This is the point where pain becomes purpose. Part 8. The science of recovery. Emotional recovery is both psychological and biological. When we experience emotional pain, our stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, flood the body. But consistent practices like mindfulness, journaling, and meaningful connection lowered these stress chemicals. Studies showed that gratitude, meditation, and even gentle exercise increase serotonin and oxytocin, the healing chemicals. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire, means that no matter how deep your pain, your brain can change. It can rebuild new emotional pathways. You are never stuck. Every moment you choose peace over panic, forgiveness over resentment, self-compassion over self-criticism, you're literally reshaping your brain for healing. Part 9. Tools for healing. Healing is both an art and a practice. Here are tools that psychologists, therapists, and survivors use. Journaling. Writing your thoughts externalizes pain. Mindfulness. Observing feelings without judgment. Therapy. Talking to a professional who holds your story safely. Breathwork. slows the body's stress response. Connection, sharing your truth with people who care. Boundaries, protecting your peace from recurring harm. Forgiveness rituals, releasing resentment through letters, prayers, or silence. Creative outlets, art, music, storytelling, turning pain into creation. Healing isn't a single act, it's a lifestyle, built through thousands of small, compassionate choices. Part 10. Rediscovering self-worth. Emotional pain often damages self-worth. It convinces you that you're broken, but you're not broken. You're becoming. Self-worth is rebuilt through self-compassion. It's choosing to speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a hurting child. Say to yourself, I am enough. I deserve peace. My story matters. Because every wound you've survived is proof of your strength. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become next.
Part 11. The spiritual side of healing. Beyond psychology, there's something deeper, the spiritual journey of healing. Every pain invites us to reconnect with meaning, to find something larger than ourselves to hold on to. Some find it in faith, some in nature, some in art, some in love. Healing is not just returning to who you were, it's awakening to who you're meant to be. It's realizing that brokenness and beauty can coexist, that scars don't ruin you. They remind you that you've healed. Part 12. From pain to purpose. Many of history's most compassionate people were once deeply wounded. Because pain opens the heart. It teaches empathy. It gives meaning to our suffering by allowing us to help others heal. When you use your pain to serve, to comfort someone else, to create something meaningful, to speak with compassion, your pain transforms into purpose. That is the ultimate healing. Part 13. The hidden burden of pretending. One of the most exhausting things in the world is pretending to be okay when you're not. We put on smiles like armor. We post pictures that say, I'm fine. We laugh louder to cover the silence inside. But pretending drains your soul. It separates you from your authentic self. There's nothing noble about hiding your pain. True courage is saying, I'm struggling, but I'm still here. You see, pretending might protect your image, but honesty protects your heart. It's okay to not be okay. Because truth, even painful truth, is the foundation of healing. When you allow your true emotions to surface, you reclaim the parts of yourself you've been hiding. You become real again. And real people heal deeply. Part 14. The weight of unspoken emotions. We live in a world that celebrates control. We're taught to suppress tears, silence anger, and bury grief. But emotions that are never expressed don't disappear. They accumulate. Every time you swallow your words, every time you hold back tears, you store emotional energy inside your body. It shows up as fatigue, tension, even illness. Because the body keeps the score, always. Healing requires release. Scream into a pillow. Cry in the shower. Write letters you never send. Talk to someone who can hold your truth without judgment. Release is not weakness, it's cleansing. You cannot pour light into a heart still filled with silence. Empty first, then heal. Part 15. Healing in relationships. Many emotional wounds are born in relationships, and often they can only truly heal in relationships. When trust is broken, when love turns to loss, we begin to believe that connection itself is unsafe. So we build walls. We keep people at a distance. We protect our hearts, but we also isolate them. Healing means learning to trust again, slowly, intentionally. Not everyone will hurt you. Not everyone will leave. There are people capable of loving you in ways you've never experienced before. But they can only reach you if you open the door. Set boundaries, yes, but don't confuse boundaries with barriers. Let love teach you what safety feels like. Because healthy connection is medicine for emotional pain.
Part 16. The Inner Child and Reparenting. Inside every adult who struggles with emotional wounds, there lives a child, unheard, unseen, and afraid. That inner child still carries the fear of rejection, the sting of abandonment, and the longing for unconditional love. Healing often begins when we stop waiting for someone else to give us the love we never received. We must learn to reparent ourselves, to become the caring voice our younger self always needed. Tell that inner child, you are safe now. You did your best. It wasn't your fault. Every time you comfort yourself, you rewrite an old story. You give that wounded child a new ending. Reparenting is not just self-care, it's self-liberation. Because the moment you love yourself the way you once needed, the wound begins to close. Part 17. The Role of Time in Healing. Time doesn't heal by itself, but time gives space for healing to unfold. In the beginning, pain is loud. It dominates every thought, every heartbeat. But slowly, with compassion and care, it begins to soften. Healing is not forgetting the past. It's learning to live fully in spite of it. Give yourself time, not weeks, not months. The time your heart truly needs. You are not behind. You are on your own timeline. Healing is not a race. It's a rhythm. And your rhythm is perfect. Part 18. The Power of Meaning. When something painful happens, we often ask, why me? But as healing deepens, the question changes to, what now? Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, once said, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." Meaning turns suffering into growth. It doesn't erase the pain, it gives it a purpose. Maybe your pain will teach you empathy. Maybe it will inspire your art. Maybe it will guide you to help others. The wound becomes sacred when you use it to serve something greater, and suddenly what once broke you becomes the reason you rise. Part 19. The Journey of Letting Go. Letting go doesn't mean erasing memories. It means releasing their emotional grip. It's acknowledging, yes, this happened, but it no longer defines me. We hold on to pain because we believe it keeps us connected to what we lost. But holding on keeps the wound open. Letting go is a ceremony of freedom. You can honor what was and still choose to move forward. Light a candle. Say their name. Say goodbye, not in anger, but in peace. Letting go isn't losing. It's choosing yourself again. Part 20. The New Beginning. One day,
quietly, gently, you'll realize the pain doesn't hurt the same. The memories will remain, but they'll no longer steal your peace. You'll laugh again, not to hide the pain, but because you feel joy again. You'll love again, not out of need, but out of abundance. That day doesn't arrive suddenly. It builds slowly through the small choices you've made, the tears you've shed, the boundaries you've set, the forgiveness you've given, the courage you've shown. Healing isn't an event, it's a rebirth. And when that moment comes, you'll look back and realize you didn't just survive, you transformed. You became wiser, softer, more compassionate, more human. That is the beauty of healing the invisible wounds. Final reflection and outro. If you've listened this far, you've already begun to heal, because awareness itself is medicine, and presence is proof of strength. Take a deep breath. Feel the air enter your lungs. You are alive. You are here. And you are still becoming. The pain that once silenced you has now become your teacher. It's guiding you toward deeper truth, deeper love, deeper peace. And someday, you'll look into someone else's eyes, someone who's hurting, and you'll say, "I know how that feels." You'll heal too. That is how healing multiplies, from one heart to another. Thank you for walking through this journey with me. This has been Professor Explain 101. If this message spoke to your soul, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Because healing isn't meant to be walked alone. We heal together.